Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll be showing you how to draft a black cup pattern step by step, starting from a basic measurement and drafting, and I'll show you how to achieve the shape of the cup you're seeing here. So if it's something you're interested in, watch the video to the end, and don't forget to support me by subscribing to my channel, like, make comments and share with friends. So let's get started. Now the first measurement we'll be taking is the cup height. Now the cup height is from the upper bust to the under bust. Now this is based on personal preference. Yours can be lower than this, but this is where I want my own cup to start, and it's going to stop at the under bust. So I got 7 inches, and I took from that upper bust to the bust point, which is 3.5 inches, half of 7 inches. That's my bust point. Now the next measurement is from the center front to the side of the bust tissue. Now I also took note from the center point to the bust point. I got 3.5 inches, and from there I took from the apex, that's the bust point, to the side of the bust tissue. I got 4 inches. So the total of what I got as the width is 7.5. Now let's get started. I'm going to draft a vertical line of 7 inches. That's the height of the cup, and I'll be drawing a horizontal line too. So I drew out a 7 inches as the vertical. That's the cup height. Now I'm going to make sure I mark it through my pattern paper, and I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Yes, I'm going to make a horizontal line. So I want to make a square. Now I'm going to make sure all my measurements are correct. So I'm taking it 7 inches all through the pattern. Now the width is going to be 7.5 inches. That's the width of. Now I'm just constructing my square box. So this is where I'll be interpreting all my measurement. Now the next measurement I'm taking is from the desired length to the bust point. Now is 3.5 inches. You can also share the length of the cup. That's 7 inches divided by 2, which is going to be 3.5 inches. You can share it into 2. So half of it, that's the bust point. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line on that point, and on that point I'll be marking the bust width. Now you remember the bust width I got was 7.5 inches. Yes, was 7.5 inches, and from there I'll be closing my square. Now I'm done constructing the box. The next thing is to bring out the line so that we can label it the upper bust, the bust point, and the under bust. Yes, so that is what I'm doing. The upper bust, and this is the bust point, and this is our under bust. Now the next thing is to look for the midpoint of our bust point. Now the midpoint of our bust point from the central front is 3.5 inches, while from that point to the side of the bust is 4 inches. So I'm going to draw out a straight line. Now I'm able to divide the square into 4 pieces. Now on this side I'll be marking half inches. On the other side too, I'll be marking half inches. Now from that point down, I'll mark from the apex point, I'll mark 0.5 inches down. Now this is a guideline to create our dart that I'll be using to construct the box, the cup. Now on this side I mark 1 inches on both sides. Now if you have a fuller bust, you can use 1.5 or 2 inches. Now at the center front I'll be marking 0.5 0.7 inches on both sides. I mark 0.7 on the upper side and on the down part. Same thing at the sides of the bust tissue. I'll be marking 0.7 inches, 0.7 inches. Now this is what we will be using to construct our cup. These are the guidelines we'll be using to construct our cup. So this is 0.5 inches, 0.7 inches. Now on this side I use 1 inches. So if you have fuller, if you have a fuller bust, you can use 1.5 to 2 inches on this side. Now you see the way I use my curve ruler to curve out the shape of the I'm using it to curve out the dart. Now you can pause the video and follow exactly what I did. So I'm just going to be using my curve ruler to curve out the shape of the dart, and you can see the way I'm placing the ruler. So you might want to pause the video and watch what I did and follow exactly what I did here. Now the next thing is for me to join my patterns together. Now from the side pattern to the lower part, I'll be joining it with my curve ruler. Same thing from the center front to the lower part, I'll join it with the ruler. Now on the upper part, I'll come down with 0.5 inches, then I'll go in with quarter inches, that's 0.2 inches. And now I'll use my ruler to curve it down. Now at the center front, I'll come down with 1 inches, and at the midpoint I'm going to come down with 0.5 inches. So this is me just shaping the upper part of the cup. Now you can decide to come down lower than this depending on the shape of the cup you want. Now on this side, I'll go in with quarter inches. So I'll use my ruler to curve it. This is me shaping the upper part of my cup. So you can decide to go lower than that depending on the shape of cup you want at the upper part. Now it's based on personal preference. Now I'm done. The shape of our tree cup is out. So on this side I mark 1 inch, and I told you you can use 1 to 1.5 or 2 inches depending on how fuller you have. On this side is 0.7 inches, that's 3/4 inches, 3/4 inches. So depending on how fuller you have. Now on this I went in with 0.2 inches, and on the center part I came down with half inches. I came down at the center front with 1 inches. So my patterns are ready, and the next thing is to just label the patterns, add my green lines, and I'll be adding my matching line, how I'll be joining it. So now I have 3 cup, the upper part, and 2 at the lower part. So I'll be labeling the first, the 1, the 2, the 3. Now we're done with our pattern. The next thing is to just cut it out and transfer the pattern onto the fabric. Now if you have watched this video to this point, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, make comment, and share with friends. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you can see more of my videos whenever I upload. And if you have any question, don't forget to drop it at the comment section. Now the three cup black cup patterns are ready. The next thing is to bring out the fabric and transfer our patterns to the fabric we'll be using to make the cup. Now the fabric I'll be using is this setting, and I went ahead to put interfacing on it. Now I've placed my pattern on my fabric. After putting the interfacing, then I'll be adding my stitching allowance, the seam allowance, to all my pattern. I added half inches to all the pattern. Now I'll indicate where all my notches, I'll be transferring all my notches to it. Now the next thing is to cut out a bra a foam for the cup. Now I cut exactly my pattern. I didn't add any seam allowance to the bra foam, so it was exactly the way my pattern is. So I'll be placing my foam on the fabric. You can see the way it is. Now the next thing is to put hemming gum at down parts in between the fabric and the bra foam. So I'll be using hemming gum to stick it down to the fabric. I've done that. Then the next thing is to sew pattern 2 and 3 together, and you can see I've joined it. Now the next thing is to stitch the upper part of the cup to the lower part. Now you can see placing the notches together and making sure they align. So I've gone to my sewing machine and I've stitched it together. Now you can see the way the cup is coming out is already formed. Even without me pressing it, the cup is out. Now the next thing is I'm going to bring out my tailor's arm. I'm going to press it using my pressing iron and be pressing out the cup, that I'll be molding the cup so that the shape can come out properly. You can see the way I'm pressing it so that the shape of the cup can come out. You can shape it, you can mold it very well at this point, so that, and this is what we have after we're done. The cup is already formed. If you have watched this video to this point, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, make comment and share with friends. And if you have any question, don't forget to drop it in the comment section. See you in my next video.